the fans.
Talking all things Cleveland Browns. From our mic to your ears. With your hosts, Jason Hand, Mikey P, and Ian Cold Train Cold Iron.
Are you ready for some football?
We're ready for some football, baby.
Yes, you are now in the yard. Welcome to the Yard Dawgs Podcast, a show for the fans, by the fans. This is actually season 4, episode 133. I'm your host, Mikey P. The Yard Dawgs Podcast is brought to you by Network 216. To check out our Ohio sports content, just make sure you subscribe to our Network 216 YouTube channel. And then joining me tonight is my co-host, Cold Train. How we doing tonight, buddy?
Not too bad, baby. Not too bad. Still relishing in I got the Victory Monday homage shirt on, but it's Tuesday.
I see that.
I had a day with my daughter yesterday anyway, so I didn't go to work. So definitely wore this to my job because why not, man? Get used out of the T-shirt, 1-0. So feeling pretty good, man.
Good. Did you guys get to I know that game was a little wet. Did you guys get dried off by Monday?
By my Monday pretty much. But, you know, if you, the local Cleveland fans don't already know the lore of that day, everybody and their brothers was saying, oh, enjoy the weather. Perfect weather. Great football weather, guys. Enjoy the game. That was literally every weatherman, every, article you'd read or whatever about the temp or about the weather. Me and my wife did not bring ponchos. We had no idea. This shame on me, not her necessarily. I'm the Cleveland native. Shame on me for not always being prepared for this game. But I had a flag football game. It was kind of a rush to the finish anyways to get there in time. We literally kind of stepped, a foot in our seats right when the kickoff happened. So there was a lot going on. But, man, I tell you what, it was quite the event, quite the just a good old time getting in there and just seeing that crowd, man. It was just quite a feeling to see Browns football back in the city of Cleveland, man. It really was.
Yeah, that's awesome to see, and that brings me to my next question here for you. I've been thinking about this. As an adult, as a kid, you know what your number one day of the year is, and it's probably Christmas morning. But as you become an adult, is it still Christmas morning or is it week 1 of the NFL?
Well, for me, that's an easy question because it would be week 1 of the NFL, just because Christmas, as you get older, as you understand, a lot of our older guys, there's the old man show, Jeff, they'll understand that, the more you do, the more it is what it is. NFL week 1 is the gift that keeps on giving. It just keeps on. It's not just 1 week. It's not one day. It's at that point, because then you start seeing the memes. I think that's when I really start getting excited too. When you start seeing those memes where it's like, this is the last Sunday before, or like this is the last non-football Sunday where like you won't have football on every single weekend until wherever February gets into the middle of February now, the Super Bowl. So yeah, man, it's most definitely week 1 of the NFL. Me and my wife love it. I mean, we look forward to it. I mean, we were just saying the other day when we were at the game, man, like how fast time flies. Like, man, it just seems like we were just talking, yesterday on the podcast, about off-season moves, Darius Smith, adding him, stuff like that. And then click of a finger and you're watching him, get the stadium all fired up after making some plays for us week 1. It's like we're already beating the Bengals and putting them down for a second, or putting that fan base down. It's just like, man, for me, it's definitely week 1 of the NFL. What about you, bud?
It's definitely, I mean, for my kids, they love Christmas and I love seeing them on Christmas. But for me, if you're asking my personal choice, it's week 1 in the NFL, man. Like I get pumped for it. And just, I woke up Sunday morning and I had gone to an ODU football game on Saturday that got delayed twice because of weather. So I didn't get home until like midnight the night before from that game. And I was still up at like 6:30 ready to roll. And I mean, it was just an awesome experience. I'm not in Cleveland, I'm in Virginia Beach here, but our club, like we had a packed house. Like it was we were adding extra seats into that room. There were so many people there. The place was loud. They were excited to see the Browns back, and it was awesome to see that game. Which we'll get into the game here very soon, but definitely for me, week 1 of the NFL is where it's at. Like it's like a national holiday for sure. We got some folks joining us in the chat. Looks like Drew and Brick City. Miss you too, buddy. Let's see. We got Brian Music's out there. He survived his meeting with Ric Flair, I guess, today. We got Colton Bernhardt and MC Lawrence out there. Good to have you guys back. We've missed you guys the last couple of weeks. Glad to come back on the show tonight. You guys are noticing Jason's not with us tonight. Jason will be back in a few weeks. He may still join us tonight. He's got some stuff going on, out of his control right now, but he'll be back with us sooner than later for sure. So he's excited to talk Browns, and we'll get into our pick segment later, and we have Jason's picks too also tonight.
Okay.
So homage, did you notice Coltrane's wearing the homage shirt? We are a proud sponsor of proud partners with Homage, the Yard Dawgs Podcast and Network 216, the apparel company. If you haven't tried Homage yet, you are missing out. Homage is always coming out with on-point, cutting-edge sports apparel. Showing support for your team doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg. As a bonus, you will get special discounts using our link to shop at Homage. Support the show and do it in style by shopping all of your favorite sports teams gear at Homage. Find the link on our website, www.216ohio.com, or look for our Homage links on Twitter at Yard Dawgs Pod. And don't forget to shop Homage today. And the cool thing about Homage is once you shop with them, like they text you notifications when they have like special deals going on, discounts. They have new gear coming out. They're pushing the starter homage or starter jackets again this year, which are straight fire. I know you got one of those, don't you, Coltrane?
Yes, yeah, I do. Yes, sir. Brown and orange.
Yep, those are
goes
fire.
with everything.
All right, so getting into some news and notes. I don't know you saw that Jack Conklin is out for the season. What are your thoughts there, Coltrane?
Man, I'm sorry. I hate to see that. I really do. I'm just, so empathetic to a situation. It just goes back to my fear, even a year ago, myself as a fan, just my personal thoughts where I was a little bit shocked that they re-signed him. Just because he had, similar issues last year. He was hurt, came back. And this is just what stinks for these guys, man, is like, out of all the people that, I was obviously there live at the game, and I didn't even see who went down. I just kind of assumed it was Conklin. But, man, hats off to him. I mean, I'm not going to say much negative about the guy. He fought for us. I mean, definitely a guy that you want to bring back and solidify that O-line. But, I mean, I'm very depressed. I'm sad. But at the same time, I think a lot of us, and at least half the fan base is, we're excited for the legacy of Thanos to be arriving now. I mean, obviously, let's see what this kid can do. He looked good yesterday yesterday. He looked good Sunday to me. Definitely excited to see what, that's what happened in the situation. Unfortunately, I mean, you saw Aaron Rodgers go down last night. Any injury at any time to any of these players can happen, man. So you always have to have depth. You always have to have backups, decent backups. So, I saw they made the moves of, they brought up Dunn, obviously grabbed don't ask me to pronounce his name, another 6'8" guy from the Bills, Rams. Yeah. Good luck with that.
Oh, yeah. What's his name? Ty Nsekhe.
Yeah. Nsekhe. So, yeah, another giant to go behind him. But I'm excited for the rookie. Obviously very sad about Jack. But I don't know. Let me ask you this. I don't want to ask you the same question, Mike. Do you think this is it? I mean, I kind of get that feeling. Do you think this is it for the Conklin era? Or what are you thinking on that aspect of like the contract goes and all that?
I mean, yeah, you get a torn ACL like that. You never know, like the recovery process is grueling with an ACL. And for those big guys like that, man, it's even tougher because you can't rehab until you're fully ready, Even thinking about like, you look around the NFL and you feel horrible for a guy like Jack Conklin because all the effort and the energy and the work that goes into the off season. You get ready. The first game of the season, you're probably the healthiest you're going to be most of the year, and then unfortunately it gets rolled up on and, tore ACL and he's out for the year and half, you're going to miss the rest of your season and we may not see him again. I mean, I don't know if you remember when Joe Thomas, tore the muscle, like that was it. He never suited up again after that. Sometimes these guys, it's when those tough injuries. I was actually watching an episode of Ballers. Did you remember that show Ballers that was on?
Yeah, of course.
The Rock?
Yeah.
There was an episode where the guy Ricky Jarrett, he goes, you don't always your body will always tell you when it's time, is what he said. He said, you may not think it's time and your mind may not think it's time, but your body will always tell you when it's time. And that's the kind of thing I was thinking about, with Jack Conklin. And I mean, it was tough this week. There was a lot of injuries, fortunate for us, we got out of it, with just the Conklin injury. I know Wills got banged up some. Four plays into the game last night, Aaron Rodgers goes down.
Yeah.
Were you watching that game last night?
Yeah. I was watching it live. I think we all wanted to see what Aaron was going to do in the Jets uni. So I looked at it with my wife. I looked at it with my wife and I just was shocked, and I just told her, I said, hats off to Aaron Rodgers because, what I was looking for season ending was like him crying, him getting carted off and then like carted off even into the building. He was like limping off on his own. He was strong-willed. I mean, I got to give it to the dude, man, for having when he knew. We all know he knew. Not that the rest of us knew, but he knew. And even my wife said it was like he got up and he goes, up, something's wrong. And then he just sat right back down. So sad, man. So depressing. Like I said again, to not even be able to. I would think ended up being 75 seconds total. Just blows your mind, man. How quickly this game can come at you, man. Like literally all that off season and Rodgers was always that guy. I'm not gonna lie, I was always shocked that he was never really, or pretty healthy for a lot of his career. Where he was like a Big Ben type. Like obviously we know of the hippie stuff that he does in the summer and all that stuff, but it's like I don't think he really takes care of his body that well, man. I mean, it doesn't look like it to me. Like he doesn't really, I mean, he works out, but not to the extreme like a lot of these guys. So I never really thought I never really, believed properly he was taking care of his body fully. And this just such a freak, just like the Conklin, like they're always such freak accidents. Like it's almost like an accident. It's not even really an injury. Like even Odell Beckham's, when it was but these were all turf injuries, dude. So it's like, yeah. I even saw Rodgers' boy, what's that name of his lineman that loves him, dude? For Green Bay, I can't think of his name, but he wrote a tweet.
Bakhtiari?
Yeah. He wrote a tweet just like NFL, wake up! Like, what are we doing here? Like, it's just, I agree. Like, there has to. I mean, literally, dude, these guys are going down. It's literally fluke. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? If this doesn't open the NFL's eyes, basically the guy they're writing promos for and basically publicizing as the face of the NFL this year. I don't know what else will, man, because, man, it's sad, though, man. I just seeing his face and you just hate to see that, You just hate to see it.
Yeah, it was tough watching last night. And, I mean, I could tell you, honest, I knew several people that had Rodgers and parlays, so I'm sure Vegas, not only Vegas, but all those FanDuels and DraftKings cleaned up last night because a lot of people's parlays had, Rodgers plus 200 yards. I mean, a lot of people had
they don't give you credit for that. They don't give you credit for that, Mike.
I don't know if they do or not. I was wondering.
They don't even give you just like a get your money back just because of I wonder if they did something.
I was wondering about that. I was trying to find out and ask somebody that maybe did one of them, but I know I saw a lot of people say, like, "Oh, my parlay is ruined," and I know a lot of people had picked the Jets last night because it was a big game. It was Monday night, Rodgers' first game. He came out with the American flag. It was anniversary of 9/11. Like that place was full throat for sure. Yeah. And kudos to the Jets though, man. Like all that got thrown at them, man, and they they got back up and pulled that game out. Like, I mean, I don't know what the rest of the season, holds for them, but they did well last night, and I think they exposed Josh Allen for the player that he's become in the last couple of years. Josh Allen has become quite a turnover machine. So
yeah, he really has been. But yeah, I'm happy for the
sure.
Jets, man. I don't think, realistically speaking, I don't know if I just have a lot of faith in that kid that's underneath Rodgers, Zach Wilson. I just can't get behind him, man. But good luck to them. But let's be realistic. Probably see like a 7-8 win team with Rodgers going down. I mean, their defense will keep them in some games, but I would predict about 7-8 games. And that's what's so crazy, man. It's like 15 or 16 with Rodgers, without him 7 or 8. It's just a lot to do with their record, man. So
yeah, it's crazy. But got some comments coming in. DeJuan Jones versus TJ Watt week 2 should be interesting. I think it's going to be must-see TV. We'll get into that later when we talk about that game, but for sure that'll be some must-see TV. We got Father Time Never Lies, that's for sure. Age catches up with you, hit you all at once. Drew brought up, that bar in Wisconsin. Did you see that yesterday where there was a Packers bar that apparently was like cheering when Rodgers went down, and it was a little shocking to see because usually Packers fans are pretty chill people, but to see that was kind of disgusting, man.
No, that's horrible, man. And if you do that, you're supposed to do that in the courtesy of your own home, and that's what you believe in. You're not supposed to do that out in public. Yeah, not out in public with a group of people. That's horrible, man. We all say, "Hey, I wish you'd break his leg." Ha ha ha. Like, not really. You're not supposed to do that literally and cheer. That's why I hate hearing that. I didn't know that, man. I hate hearing that.
And Nicholas Toombs said, no, if he starts the game, they get no money back. It's only if they don't play can you get your money back.
Wow.
They cleaned up
literally. Last night. That's horrible. That's like, that's like the devil getting, richer or something. Like that's horrible, man. Who compliments to whoever made that comment. I appreciate the info. But man, that's
I don't know if you've been to Vegas recently, but they're not going broke anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, dude, there should be some type of clause in there. Like, like I said, I thought everyone would be getting emails with an asterisk. Hey, it is what. Nope, we'll just take your money. We'll just take it. We're good. Sorry about Rodgers, but we'll take your money.
That's right. Well, there's more to that story, I guess, in Wisconsin. Apparently, the bar had said that if the Bills won the game, they would all get free drinks. So all these people were ordering mass shots.
I see. I know this bar. Then I saw that before, and I was like, okay, that's a little much, But
Ooh, so after that punt return, they were all divvying up their tabs, I guess, at that point.
Yeah.
Listen. All right, so we'll get into our Browns Bengals recap. Coltrane, you were there. What was the energy like in that stadium? Because it felt electric on TV.
Yeah, it was electric, man. I can't lie. I think I already talked to you personally this week. Obviously, I've talked about this on the show. My best game I've ever been to so far in my life, by far, was that Halloween game last year with my wife. I told you just the night game that they gave us those little wristbands that light up, the violinist, doing the fucking Thunderstruck, all that stuff was number one. But this game came in at number 2 for me. Just to be able to go to a game with your wife and actually not really feel worried the whole game, that right there, Michael, it might be is the worth every penny. I don't care what I paid for my ticket, but it was well worth it. And for every fan that was there, just because I don't think many of us in a long time have been able to do that, where you really, be honest with you, we saw the Jets game last year, so I'm sure us in the stands were like, all right, let's get up, like obviously after the Harrison Bryant touchdown, we all felt a little bit better, of course, but no, the city was electric, man. The city was alive. I even told my wife, I whispered in her ear, I said, because we went to a Guardians game, courtesy of my job. UniFirst. They gave us the club seats for that game, and we went to a Guardians game, and then obviously now we went to the Browns game, and completely different vibe, man. I no disrespect to the Guardians fans and the Guardians guys out there. I love the Guardians, but man, two completely different atmospheres, man. I mean, that place was just loud. Obviously, the Myles Garrett sack you can hear on any video clip that's found. I was able to get and post a nice clip of Watson bringing that 13-yarder in. I'm sure you saw that, Mikey.
I saw that one.
A little bit of hit on Twitter. That was awesome. And how cool is that for me to get it on film? And because my wife made a point of it, that was Deshaun's first TD of the 2023 season. So
yeah,
I'll always have that and be able to cherish that. But yeah, the city was alive, man. It was very much alive. Bengals fans obviously didn't hear really a peep from them all game. And then even after we were up 2-3 scores, they just started looking on their phones, trying to, I was surprised they didn't leave when Burrow came out, but they were still there. They stayed for the duration of the game. But man, amazing time to just we pay that money. We support this team. Even you, Mikey, you were kind of negative towards the end of the year last year. To get behind this team and then finally start us off right. What was it, 20 years that we never won at home like that? I mean, dude, it just, man, it keeps you alive. It makes you want to appreciate being a Browns fan. The best part, like I told my wife, the best part about the win was the fact that we don't have to deal with Bengals fans till freaking week 17. So literally, like, they're on their own path. We're on ours. And we'll get into that a little bit later. But, man, Mikey, that is the way you want to start at home with Cleveland. And then when Deshaun did that, dude, when I saw that, I said, man, say what you want about that man. Keeping it football, please. Say what you want about his skills on the field or what he can or can't do right now. He knows right now. All I got to do is give them fans in that crowd a little bit of rock and roll. This stadium is going to be going nuts. And I even told my guys in the stand after he did, I said, Baker had his chance, Johnny Manziel, all these guys in our past. Like, you can be the king of Cleveland. You just got to score some TDs and win us some football games, man. This whole city, everybody in that stadium will get behind you. And like I said, to hear that and just, really seeing Watson's face and just the approval of the fans and just watching that, from here, in person and being alive with that situation. Like I said, second best NFL game I've ever been to, man. Just the pure domination that it was on our defensive line, for sure. And cornerbacks. I can't leave the cornerbacks out.
To me, I call it the perfect Twitter game. And what I mean by that is over the last few years, Myles Garrett's gotten a lot of criticism for not coming up with a big fourth quarter sack. He had a huge fourth quarter sack this game. He was dominant all game. We've had kicking problems. It was great to see like Dustin Hopkins just line up and kick him straight down the middle. I mean, he was 3 for 3 they were 43 was his long. Like, special teams was solid all game. Like, defense was solid. Defense was dynamic, and special teams was good. Bjorquez was punting the ball. He had a 66-yard punt. What do you have? He averaged 47.3 yards, pinned the Bengals inside the 23 times. Like, they were playing the long game, and man, I thought we were going to win the game. But if you would have told me before the game we'd hold Joe Burrow to 82 yards, I'm like, you're a freaking liar. There's no way we're not holding him to 82 yards. I got to say one thing, man. We got on Joe Woods a lot last year, and we should have got on him even more because that team, the defense was playing for each other. I don't know if you noticed that there was always, like, after a guy made a play, it was like they were gathering, they were hyped, there was a lot of energy. Guys looked like they were flying all over the place.
Yeah. I mean, notice one thing too, and then I noticed it live. Look at that Schwartz effect. All of a sudden, Delpit is all over the field, and he's hit. Bro, he was hitting people so hard. I swear to God, there was a play he hit Jamar Chase so hard. I go, dude, take it easy. Like, you're going to injure yourself. Like, you could hear the shot in the stadium. Delpit was lighting people up, okay? You had other guys like JOK that I don't think Woods ever was able to release the like their capabilities, bro. Even Myles Garrett, he was lined at, what did they say, linebacker? He was lined up at 6 times or whatever in the game, and like 6 times in 6 seasons or something crazy like that. I mean, it's that Schwartz effect. It's like they either all believe in what he's doing, or like he just, well, I think it's a mixture of both. He just knows where to like put, like, okay, JOK here, okay, dump it. No, you're good at this. What was Woods doing? Let me have you do this. You know, it's like he's changed everybody around to where even players that you didn't really see making plays are now all of a sudden like dogs on the field. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and did I see this correctly at the game? I didn't get to see like the depth chart. He started Ronnie Hickman at safety. He started him.
I think Hickman got the start.
I'm pretty sure he did, bro. So undrafted rookie, like that's what I'm talking about. Like Woods, I feel like was like old school. Like he would 100% have given it to the Colt. He would have given it to the other free agent. You know, like Woods. You know, I think he was like very, and he was who he was. Like Woods was very like PG-13, like very like by the book. You know, the guy with his pants, you know, up to here like Urkel and stuff. You know, like his defenses was let's just be honest, it was Charmin soft, man. This defense was unlocked. It was unlocked. And I will say this, I'll end on this. I don't want to talk too crazy or too much on the defense, but if they can play like that consistently, that's the key word, Mikey. Consistently, this is a playoff team. 120%. This is a playoff team, dude. If they can be consistent. So Schwartzy, I hope this isn't like because Joe Woods used to do that where he'd have a game like this and then he'd have 2-3 shitty ones in a row. So it's like, just keep this effect going, Schwartzy. Like I've been in your corner. I believe in you. But if we can just get that D consistent, Watson doesn't even have to be Houston Watson. He just has to be Baker Mayfield, QB or you know, Baker Mayfield, just game manager, you know, and that, they were even talking about that on some of the talk shows this week. Like maybe Stefanski doesn't even want him to be, Watson from Houston, you know, and everybody keeps, wanting him to be that guy. Like at the end of the day, as long as Watson's just doing what he needs to do and we're getting the W at the end of the game, all that negative stuff about Watson, especially his playing, I don't care, man. It doesn't matter. But the defense, if they're playing like that, I just hope it's not, like I said, I'm a Browns fan, man, so I'm pessimistic. I'm always negative. It's just like, I'm like you, Mikey. It's like, dude, I want to believe. Trust me, I'm all in. I got no choice. But, man, just be consistent, bro. If you can see that shit every week, dude, this team is like almost at the Buffalo Bills were last year. Like, they're going to be really exciting to watch, really fun to watch. So,
yeah, you need that because, defense when you go on the road in this league, it has to travel always, for sure. I'll leave this on the last note on the defense. I think a big thing you noticed is you didn't see guys pointing at each other. You didn't see any blown coverages.
No.
I think that's what happens when you put trust and belief in your players. You ask them, and it's like anything. Like when you're coaching someone, you're like, what do you like to do well? Or what do you like to do? And then you take those things, and then you figure out what they also do well instead of trying to, fit them, as a round hole in a square peg or square peg in a round hole. Like, forcing guys that are traditional man corners to play zone is not playing to their strengths. So, watching the defense get after it. The corners were running the routes for the receivers in many cases on Sunday. So I'll leave that on the end note for the defense, unless you got anything else.
No, I was just going to add or finalize with this. You saw the video clip of when Schwartz got the game ball. You don't make that shit up, dude. Like they love him, bro. They've
Absolutely.
Like I said, the Schwartz effect is in full effect, bro. Like they were like, dude, they were cheering for him like he was their brother. So yes, like very different. And we talked about it on the show. We did prelude this, but very different defense this week, buddy. I hope it's not a fool's gold. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see as we go into Pittsburgh. Now going over to the offensive side of the ball, they ended up with 350 yards of total offense. They were able to move the ball. We did kick. What did we kick? 3 field goals.
Yeah, 3 field goals.
We have three touchdowns. We had 3 touchdowns. Yeah. No, we had. I'm saying, yeah. Sorry, we had
No,
two touchdowns.
two touchdowns and 9 points and field goals, right? I believe so.
And then we had that 2-point conversion. That was right.
Yeah.
Watson threw for one, ran for one. Nick Chubb was his normal self, 18 for a $106, 4 catches for 21 yards. What were your thoughts on the offense on Sunday?
I mean, like I said, with the defense keeping us afloat or keeping us in the game, I didn't need to see anything flashy. Like I said, I was there. And that's what a lot of people that are like ripping our offense and Watson and Cooper, dude, if you were there, you would understand it was miserable Cleveland off and on spotty rain. Like Watson that's not an excuse. The ball was weighted down. Like I saw Cooper. I mean, I don't know how many players, even on the Bengals too, that just lost their footing, man. Like maybe the ball was in the air and both of them went up, or they both just fell because it's just so wet. I mean, I liked what I saw, man. I mean, obviously love the play from Watson. If you can't, if all else fails, just bring it in yourself. We've never had a quarterback that can do that before. Never. At least in my lifetime, that a quarterback that can rush like that to score. But I also liked what I saw. I saw that nice completion to Harrison Bryant in the end zone for Watson. So he got a little, TD. That ball, I was there. I mean, I'm sure you can see in the video too. It was tipped. I mean, I'm not giving an excuse again, but that interception was tipped. There was a guy that got a finger on it at the line. And, I'm not, again, not making excuses for the dude, but he's exactly he's where I think he should be at. He's not doing anything where you're like, oh, Watson's spectacular today. But again, back to my original conclusion in the beginning, maybe we don't need him to be like that. Maybe us as fans need to kind of, and I'm okay with it. We did it for Baker, so don't you not do it for Watson. We did it for Baker. If that's really how Stefanski runs his team, and he likes kind of more of like a game manager, and there, by the way, there's going to be games that Watson will step up, and I know that. But as far as the weather goes and being up and close and personal, to answer your question, Mikey, I thought they did what they could, man. The run seemed to work at times. If that wasn't working, they went to the pass, and the passes weren't working, they were going back to the run. I mean, it was just one of those games, kind of pick your poison, see what works, what doesn't. I saw some good drives. Some get stale just because of, like I said, due to the weather, but it literally felt like the rain picked up every time we had the ball. So all the Bengals excuses, or Bengals fans excuses as that, that the rain was the reason we won. All that, dude, trust me, I was thinking the opposite. Like I felt like the rain stopped when Burrow was on the field. Honestly, that's just how I felt as a fan being there. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I was happy with what I saw. So I'm very be interested, Mikey. What were you thinking of the offense, and especially different than you, because you were obviously watching on TV.
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching it, and I thought the offense, played efficiently. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, you had Ford's fumble probably took at least 3 points off the board. They were at least going to get a field goal on that drive.
That was Ford.
And there was another. Yeah, it was Ford who fumbled.
I thought that was Chubb. Wow. Okay. See how different.
No, it was Ford's for scary. Yeah, we thought it was Chubb too, because with 34 and 24, and then when they reshowed, that was 34, not 24.
Wow.
There was a David Bell big first down drop. That they were moving the ball that would have put them. Yeah. That series could have culminated in at least 3 points. Like I felt like they left some points out on the board with some mistakes and stuff like that. But I mean, overall, I thought they were efficient enough. I mean, you don't see it happen too often in this league where you lose the turnover margin by 2 and win the game so handily, winning it 24-3. So that was it was good to see the offense when they needed to be could move the ball. The offense when they needed to be closed the game out. There was a time like what was it 10-3. And it felt like, since he had just scored and immediately, it always feels like in Browns teams of the past, we'd get the ball back and immediately go 3 and out. And we were able to at least take that ball and move it down the field and got a field goal out of it and then made it another 2-score game. Just some different stuff. I mean, the weather was tough out there. I know that was part of why Joe Burrow struggled too, was part of it. But, the defense did play a big part in that. But, watching on TV, I thought the offense did its job. and did what they needed to win the game. I mean, if you looked around the league week 1, there wasn't a lot of big offensive outputs or numbers. I mean, even Dallas, who put up 40, I think, 14 of those points were off of defense and special teams.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, you had a lot of big name quarterbacks that got paid this offseason, put up dud numbers, like Geno Smith had a terrible game. Danny Dimes had a terrible game. Joe Burrow had a terrible game. Lamar Jackson really wasn't anything special either. You know, they were just playing Houston, who's obviously a rebuilding team with a rookie quarterback. Kenny Pickett was talked about like he's the next coming of Joe Montana, and he put up a dud of a week. So it was an interesting week around the NFL. Glad to see we were able to do just enough and come away with a W. But that leads us into the next topic. Are we a playoff team, or should we pump the brakes just a little bit after week 1? Like, is Twitter going too crazy?
Well, I always think Twitter goes too crazy because they're talking. I mean, even at the game, I know that most of the fans are joking, but like you're walking around, they're like Super Bowl. It's like, all right, dude, like let's, pump the brakes in the Super Bowl. Now, playoffs for us. I told you guys this on the show last year. We're all in. There is no choice. You know what I mean? It's playoffs or bust. No matter if we won this game or not, or if it was still a 17-game week season. We haven't seen anything yet. I mean, despite even what we saw from this first game, we got to make the playoffs, man. We just have to. So, at least for me, I'm not ready to pump my brakes. I'm not even ready to get off this train yet, just because, like, I guess for me, and kind of making a basis off the question, I said on the show, that week 5 bye is really crazy for Browns fans, because by week 5, when we're sitting in our houses and there's no football to watch, we'll have a really good idea of where this team's going to go. At that point, you've played Pittsburgh on the road. You've played Tennessee, who doesn't look that good right now, to be honest with you. They look kind of not like an easy win, but a mid team. Let's just say a mid team right now. And then you go back home, that I'll be at that game as well, to play Baltimore, and finish off with a nice little bye week to end it off. Man, if you can go 3-1 or 4-0, 3-1 after 2-2, if you can be 3-1 out of that stretch with this, first dub, we're talking playoffs, baby. No doubt in my mind, because that's just based off, how the schedule kind of, flattens out a little bit at the end too. Like if you ever actually look at the schedule, but 2 division rivals in the beginning, and that first 4, or 3 division rivals, I'm sorry, and that first 4 games before that bye, that's when we'll really be able, in my opinion, we'll really be able to answer playoffs or bust. But right now, I can't even answer, because I have no choice, bro. I'm all in. It's got to be the playoffs, man.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I concur. I definitely agree. I think we're a playoff team. It's way too early to say who your Super Bowl favorites are, because I always say that the season's broken up into like four quadrants. We're in quadrant 1, and usually it's by like quadrant 3, even 4 sometimes, before the team gets hot. I mean, Philly kind of got hot at the end, or the second half of the year last. They were good all season, but it took off in that second half. Looked like the clear-cut NFC favorite. So I don't know. Is the potential there? Yes. Did we get better? Yes. Did other teams around us stay the same or not? I mean, I think Kansas City, with injuries, that's the thing you can't ever predict. Like, injuries is the great equalizer sometimes. I mean, look at that. I mean, Detroit went into Kansas City opening night, without Kelsey. Mahomes, he was still good, but he wasn't as dynamic as he normally is. He didn't have his security blanket. Like, he knows when things break down where his number 1 guy is going to be. And but I think definitely the Browns are a playoff team. It's playoff or bust for me this year, anyways. With the talent that we have, there's no reason why they can't make the playoffs. It's just going to be, are you a wild card team, which makes the path even harder, or can you win the division, for the first time since 1986? So we will. I think we'll learn a lot through these first few weeks. Like I said, that first quadrant of the season, that first 5 weeks. Playing 2. Well, we played 2 or 3 divisional games early on.
Mm-hmm.
You got Pittsburgh coming up this week, Monday night. Pittsburgh, I like it because of Pittsburgh's home game was last week. That was our home opener. I think there's going to be a little, their fans are, doubting themselves a little bit. So I think we're primed to go in there and get the W this week. So we'll get into that next with the Browns and Steelers. What do you think the key to the game for you on offense, for us offensively to have success this week against Pittsburgh?
Where's TJ Watt on the field? Honestly, that's really the matter. I mean, honestly, man, I'm just saying it's the matter of where he's at. I will tell you what's huge for us is big old bully boy Cam Hayward that Cleveland fans have actually begun to hate after his Ohio. I mean, at least for me, I've begun to hate that man. He's one of them guys. Like he's like Terrell Suggs when he played for Baltimore. They always seem to do well in that Cleveland game. It's like I don't know what
I know.
They might have like a piss poor year, or they could have a Pro Bowl year or a piss poor year, and they always seem to just make plays. As you guys know, he used to bully the hell out of Baker, man. He used to sack him all the time. So honestly, like I said, with him, so basically it allows you to focus on TJ Watt a little bit better. But I'll tell you what, man, I talked about this on the show again or before. I'll repeat myself. I did like something Watson said in a press conference, going into this game where he was like, they hate us, we hate them. It's like, yeah, that's right, baby. You recognize that. You know what I mean? Like, I know they play in video clips and all that stuff and the rivalry, but it's like, again, Watson, you have no idea if you can just do well over there. Like, how many QBs have we had where we just got embarrassed out there? I've been to 2 up close and personal with my wife. Where I told you we got castrated on our way home or on our walk home to our car because we had Browns gear on. I mean, somebody finally go in there and give them what they deserve, dude, for all these years that they've been, busting our butts. So if that's really what Watson, believes, that little soundbite of him, they hate us, we hate them, we know what it is. All right, man, get your crap together, man. Because and the good thing too, what I liked offense wise, to answer your question, we didn't really get to see much of Cooper, dude. So I think a breakout game's coming from Cooper, bro. I really do. I think it's going to be a big connection. Watson was it's not like he used to play a little like Baker that first game. He was really eyeing Cooper a lot of passes, man. But if we can get Cooper in the mix, I'd love to see more. Give me more and more, please. Give me more Elijah Moore. Would love to see him on some nice little wraparound plays. Hell, throw him at running back. I don't care. I mean, that dude's he's awesome where he had that whole defense chasing him around.
Yeah.
But very excited, bro. Very excited to see the offense. And hopefully they, like I said, that's what we want to see, in Pittsburgh, at Pitt is those guys that do well,
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
If Baker can do it, yeah.
Yeah, Baker did it. Baker went in there and put up, 48?
Yep,
but
in the playoffs.
I know, on defense, without Cam Hayward, they're going to be missing him. You're definitely going to want to key on Watt, like know where Watt is at all times. You don't want to give him any success. You almost want to try to frustrate the hell out of him, chip him all game, so he doesn't feel like he's having a story in the game. Offensively, for them, I think I saw Deontay Johnson is now going to be out a few weeks. So he's always a guy that he'd have subpar games against everybody else, but when he plays us, for some reason, they always have good games. So you got to make sure hey, you stop Kenny Pickens, stop TJ Watt, you go into Pittsburgh and you win the game. Or George Pickens, you go into Pittsburgh and you win the game. You don't give Kenny Pickett any early success. Like, make sure you're bringing the pressure and getting to him because that's what San Francisco did. Like, they were getting him off his spots. He was uncomfortable the whole game. They were bullies. Like, I watched the highlights of that. San Francisco went in there and punked them guys. And you don't see that happen to a Mike Tomlin team very often. But they pushed those guys around. They were the physically tougher team. And that's what we have to do on Monday night is go in there and impose our will and be the be the more dominant and the physically imposing team for sure. So,
And let me ask you this, because I thought this, Mikey, but I love your feedback on it. I personally think our D line is better on paper than Niners. What do you think?
yeah, I mean, with the addition of Zadarius Smith, like here's the thing: Zadarius Smith is everything we thought Jadeveon Clowney could be.
Well, I say this
Jadeveon
all the
Clowney,
time.
talented guy, but he wasn't a good teammate. Zadarius Smith, I've seen him do nothing but pump up his guys. Like after the game, he's trying to go have high five and have fun with the fans. Like, and I heard nothing but good things about him when he was in Minnesota, when he was in Green Bay. Like former teammates have done nothing but speak highly of him. Guy has a high motor. He's gonna do his job and he's gonna do it right. And you don't have to worry about him taking plays off. You have Okonkwo that comes in there. I thought he was really good Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tomlinson was disruptive. Dalvin Tomlinson was disruptive. Even Jordan Elliott at times had probably one of his better games. Last week. And Shelby Harris is getting more playing time, getting into the defense too. So, I mean, the talent is there on that defense. Those guys seem like they love playing with each other right now. So it's awesome to see.
Yeah. But like I said, I think that we, if I guess what my thinking is, greedily, if San Fran can do that to them, why not us? Why can't we?
Yeah. San Fran's built the same way almost we are. They want to have balance. They want to run the ball, then they want to spread it around. I've seen people compare like Deebo Samuel and Elijah Moore. I think they're very different players, but they both get used out of the slot a lot. You might see them at running back sometimes. They love to use the tight ends like we do. It's going to be a hell of a game come Monday night. I'm excited for it. But before we get into our predictions for next week, Coltrane, why don't you tell us about YouTube?
Why don't you tell us about YouTube, bro? I don't have the I don't have it in my info here.
You're good. All right. Just remember, though, if you guys want to support the show, you can subscribe to Network 216 YouTube channel for free. We're working hard to bring Cleveland sports content, and more shows are joining the network. We're, of course, your one-stop shop for all your Ohio sports content. We have a Cavs podcast coming that's on right now. We have the Guards had a show. We have a couple different Brown shows. We have the Scarlet Gray podcast for Ohio State. And don't forget to join Discord too. Like Discord right now, if you were into sports betting, as we were talking about earlier, there's a lot of guys in there, that gives their parlays or plays of the week or plays of the day. Capitalize on that, join, and you can cash in and win some money. Like, do you do any of that sports betting culture? Do you ever do FanDuel or DraftKings or any of that?
Yeah, a little bit, but I'm not, I'm more of like a straight up. I like to just go straight up on the money line. I'm not a parlay guy. I haven't really been drawn into that. I mean, my buddies keep trying to get me to, but one day I will. But I'm more just like a, Philly versus the Browns. I'll take the money line and go from there.
Yeah, I'm the same way. If I do a parlay, it's like it might be a 3-team spread parlay or something like that. I have a hard time when it's like this anytime touchdown and plus 200 yards and all that stuff. That gets a little crazy. But I'm learning it. It's all new to me. And this is the first year I'm not playing fantasy football. So I'm trying to find other stuff. So I've been doing a little bit of more sports betting and betting on spreads this year as I normally do. All right. So we're bringing back our year-long bet. It's going to be our Browns weekly predictions. We'll predict every Browns game. And then we'll also do the AFC North weekly prediction. The winner gets a Yard Dawgs Podcast trophy for the mantle, which will be passed yearly, which belongs to Jason right now. Jason was the winner last year. The last place finisher chooses the punishment. Last year was the one chip challenge, or we'll come up with the top 5 comment punishments, and then the top 5 is going to go on the Wheel of Destiny. So we'll be bringing that back this year. Coltrane did the one chip challenge. I don't know if you saw it recently. Did you see the guy who did the one chip challenge and then like died the next day or something?
Yeah, but I'm telling you, man, reading that and doing it myself, I'm telling you, I mean, you saw it live on the show. That like it literally, there's a point when you first bite into it, it tastes like pure gasoline, dude. Like it's literally like I mean, you remember I couldn't even talk, so it's like I'm not saying
Yeah.
that I should have died, but I can understand where people would have complications. Like he probably just had something wrong. Like I don't know, maybe it ruptured something at the wrong time. It could have been anything, dude. I have no idea, but it's not for trust me. I'm going to be voting to veto that off the list, especially
Yeah,
after that article came out. It's not worth it. I mean, we'll think of something else.
Yeah, we'll get rid of the one chip challenge for sure. Because I was like, after seeing that, I was like, I don't know if I want that on there anymore. I'll do it. I was like, I might go running naked through the street before I'll eat a damn chip that might kill me.
Yeah, pull Will Ferrell from old school.
So what we did is we gave everybody 3-0 last week. So we're all going into week 2, 3-0. We got 2 games to pick this week. Just remember the rules are, 1 point. You get 1 point for each correct prediction. If you get the exact score, which nobody got last year, I think a couple of us were close a couple times, then you'll get 3 points. So year-to-date standings, we're all going in with 3 points. So we'll start with game number 1. We'll talk about Ravens versus Bengals. Who do you got, Coltrane?
I have the Ravens. Ravens 24, Bengals 21.
Okay. Jason went with Bengals 24-20, and I have the Bengals 24-17. I was like, there's no way Burrow can play as bad as he did last week, and I kind of want the Bengals to win this week so the Ravens aren't 2-0, and I'd rather see them both 1-1 right now. So I'm going to go Bengals 24-17. All right, and then, of course, the game of the week, which is our game, is going to be Browns at the Steelers. I'll go with Jason's pick first. Jason's got the Browns winning 28-17, very close to my pick. I also have the Browns winning 29-17. I'm going on the road winning by 12 points. And then we'll let Coltrane close it out with with his prediction for Browns versus Steelers.
Oh, 100% got the Browns. I'm going to keep riding this train until they do me wrong. 32-14.
Ooh, I hope it's 32-14.
Yeah.
There's a couple field goals in there from Dustin Hopkins.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, and that's what I said even to the fans, about Hopkins. The dude didn't even kick he didn't even have one kick in front of us or anything. He tried it. I mean, basically the guy just was picked up a couple of weeks ago. I mean, talk about a blue collar culture to Cleveland. Like that guy just fits right in. Just came to work. Hey, all right, guys, I'll line up here. Oh, all right, I'll do my job.
Yep.
That's all we want as fans. Just do your job. Just what did that one coach used to say? Just put the thingy in the thingy. Like that's all you got to do. Just put the football in the through the 2 uprights, and that's it, man. And we don't have to worry about it. So it felt good to not, especially after that third one he made, watching it live. It was like that sense of relief, like, oh, thank God, we have a guy that can just kick. He doesn't think about it.
Yeah. After having Cody Parkey always looked like he was his wife had been kidnapped and he had to kick the field goal to save her life, and then Cade York had just lost it.
Just pure mental case. Oh my!
You know what it was? Everyone kept saying this guy could be the next Justin Tucker. There's only one Justin Tucker, and there probably will only ever be one Justin Tucker. That guy's like just he's like a dragon, man. Like they don't make those anymore. They're not real.
They said Hopkins will be.
Yeah, or no, like everyone thought Cade York was going to be the next Justin Tucker because he had big leg. Yeah, great that he has a big leg and can kick 60-plus yard field goals. But damn, you're going to kick more 40-yarders than you are 60-yarders. You need to be 85% accurate, which is what Hopkins is.
You see, and that's why they got Hopkins was he's he's good to go in that realm, especially anything 30 to 45. But once you get above 45, that's where he's like a 50-50 shot. But most kickers are they not? I mean, at the end of the day, most kickers are 50-50. It's a coin flip, man. Unless you are Justin Tucker, you know?
Yeah, most kickers are anything 50 and beyond are 50 to 40% success rate. Even Justin Tucker, I think last year was like 60% success rate there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not that often. And he's kicked in bad weather before. He used to kick in Washington. You know, Washington's a tough stadium to kick in too. And they get a lot of that weird rain there. And it's got that open-ended stadium that feel to it, just like Cleveland, where the wind kind of comes in out of the corners there. So
yeah,
it's nice to see. Nice to see. Well, we're gonna close the show tonight. Any final thoughts before we turn it over to the to Nick and Jacob Roach tonight?
I'll just leave with this: enjoy the game Monday. If anybody forgot,
helmet.
we're wearing the whites. Got my little mini to support, but should be a banger Monday night, baby. I'm ready. As a fan, and I will leave you guys with this: as a fan, to start off the year 2-0, God, would it be so nice? That's all we wanted with the Jets game. You know what I mean? Now it's deja vu to beat Pittsburgh at their house and be 2-0 and start the season off that right, going into Tennessee, back home. I'll take it, baby. So, yeah, Monday night, Steelers, Brownies. But I think we got this, guys. I really do. TJ Watt can't do it all, baby. TJ Watt can't do it all.
No.
I think we roll.
I'm excited.
We roll these boys.
Let's go in there, guys. I'm ready to give out a game ball next week again. So let's go into Pittsburgh Monday night, announce our presence, and take the W home, man. But as Jason always says, we like to end all of our shows with a Go Browns. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, Go Browns.
Go Browns.